Fans of the paid television network History Channel have certainly come across the reality show Mountain Men, which premiered on the 31st of May 2012 and is currently airing its 10th season. It stars Tom Oar, D.B. Sweeney, and Eustace Conway, and follows the three men who are living their lives in the wilderness, away from any populated areas. These men are able to make it solely thanks to their survival skills, which include knowing how to hunt, fish, and gather various supplies in the woods or high up in the mountains. Besides the three main cast members, the show also features a couple of other people who are living in the wilderness, including Marty Mayrado, who's living in Two Rivers, Alaska, with his wife Dominique and their child Noah. The American mountain lion hunter Rich Lewis, who's living with his wife Diane in Ruby Valley, Montana, and the American fur trapper George Michaud, who usually camps in Idaho's Teton Range and along the Snake River. One of the stars of the show, Tom Oar, was a rodeo cowboy before he changed his life entirely and moved close to the Yak River in Montana. Tom and his wife Nancy work hard to be able to survive a 7-month-long winter, while their dog Ellie is there to help them hunt, as well as to keep them warm at night. Tom Oar was born in Illinois, USA in 1943. His exact date of birth remains undisclosed, but his zodiac sign is believed to be Gemini, and he holds American nationality. He's been a cast member of Mountain Men since its premiere, and is mostly popular due to his amazing survival skills. Tom was raised in Illinois by his father, Chike Oar, who was an actor and reality TV star, and appeared in various U.S. Wild West shows. Tom hasn't spoken of having any siblings, so he's believed to be an only child. And because he hasn't talked about his mother, some people wonder if she was around while Tom was growing up. Not a lot is known about Tom's life prior to joining the show Mountain Men. He completed his high school education in 1961 and married Nancy sometime in the following 9 years. The two lived in Troy, Montana for a couple of years, and Tom spent that time serving as a combo rider in rodeo events from the age of 20 years old, but had to quit a few years later because the falls endemic in the profession had endangered his health. After accepting the situation, Tom moved to one of the most remote areas of Montana with Nancy, living in the woods in relative isolation. It didn't take them long to build themselves a warm and cozy cabin, located 50 miles from the nearest store. Tom and Nancy don't really need the store anyway, because they hunt for and prepare their own food every day. They also make money. Tom's net worth is estimated at more than $200,000 as of early 2022, received mostly from starring in Mountain Men. But he's also believed to be one of the best animal skin tanners in the US, and so also makes money by selling his merchandise. Tom and Nancy use the skin of animals, which they hunt to make trousers, shirts, jackets, and moccasins, which they then sell for quite a lot of money. Most of these made of tanned deer skin. Whenever they travel to a city, the two take all they have to sell, and they rarely have anything left to take back to their cabin, thanks to the popularity which the show has brought them. Tom also gets many orders on the internet, which are passed to him by the show's staff. Tom and Nancy have 3 children together, Keely, Jack, and Chad. However, they're keeping them away from the media's attention, and apparently don't want them to struggle in the wilderness, which is why they're living in Chicago, Illinois. Tom is today 78 years old. He has long brown hair and a long white beard, brown eyes. His height is 6 feet, and he weighs around 175 pounds. People haven't seen Tom in Mountain Men in a while, and have been wondering what has happened to him, and if he's perhaps passed away. Growing older has made it a lot harder for Tom to hunt and skin animals as efficiently as he did when he was younger, and thus chose to leave his cabin in the woods and move with his wife to Florida. He spent most of his life out there in the wilderness, but has stated that this way of living isn't for anyone, and that he was perhaps born 200 years late. There are several other reasons why Tom has quit living his life as a mountain man, and one of these is his popularity. The show has made him and a couple of other cast members famous, and in an interview which Tom had given to Allegheny Mountain Radio, he spoke of how people came to the cabin to talk to him nearly every day in the summer, and how they wanted to shake his hand. They all admired him, took pictures of Tom and the cabin, without realizing that one of the reasons why Tom had set out to live in the wilderness was because he wanted privacy. To avoid people who might want to come meet him in Florida, Tom has kept the details of his current location hidden, and fans can only try and guess in which city he's living, if in a city at all. Some believe that he's found a remote area in Florida to continue living in, at least relative wilderness, but naturally, this hasn't been confirmed. Another star of the series is Eustace Robinson Conway, who was born in Columbia, North Carolina, USA, on the 15th of September 1961. His zodiac sign is Virgo, and he holds American nationality. He's a naturalist who's known for 2 things: being the star of Mountain Men and the subject of Elizabeth Gilbert's book, The Last American Man. Eustace was raised in Columbia alongside his 3 siblings by their parents, about whom nothing is known, as Eustis respects their privacy. He was only 17 years old when he moved away and started living in a teepee in the woods. Eustis has hiked the entire Appalachian National Scenic Trail and claimed that he has set the world record of riding on horseback across the US from the Atlantic to the Pacific in 103 days. This was later disputed by the magazines Los Angeles Times and the New York Times, because the actual record today is 62 days, held by Bud and Temple Abernathy. A documentary movie about Eustis's life was released in 2003, entitled Full Circle, a life story of Eustace Conway, while he was also featured in the 2012 documentary movie Reconvergence. Eustis today owns 1,000 acres of land in Boone, North Carolina, which is turned into Turtle Island Preserve, where tourists come to take tours, camp in summer, and engage in workshops. Mountain Men also follows him working on his reserve. He faced problems in November 2012 when Turtle Island was shut down because the area's building codes were allegedly violated by Eustis's traditional buildings. He was close to reaching a deal with the North Carolina Building Code Council in the following month. However, not long after that, Eustis was arrested after he trespassed on his neighbor's property and argued with him. On the 12th of June 2013, after the North Carolina General Assembly joined the discussion between Eustis and North Carolina Building Code, Governor Pat McCrory signed a bill into law which would exempt primitive structures from the building code, thus fixing all of Eustis's problems. Marty Mayrado was born in Wisconsin, USA in 1996. His exact birth date remains undisclosed. He holds American nationality and is a trapper and reality TV personality who gained recognition only after he began starring in the reality show Mountain Men. Marty was raised in Wisconsin alongside his brother Jeff by their parents, about whom nothing's known, as the two men respect their privacy. Marty attended a local high school from which he matriculated in 1984, and because he hasn't spoken of his further education, it's widely believed that he hasn't attended college. Not long after matriculating, Marty married Dominique, a non-celebrity American lady who can be seen in a couple of episodes of Mountain Men. They have a daughter together named Noah. Marty's interest in trapping came from his father, who had excelled at it, and who often took Marty and Jeff with him when he went hunting. The trio would occasionally check the traps set by the boy's father in the north of Wisconsin, and Marty knew straight away that he wanted to become a trapper. Because he had tough luck catching animals in Wisconsin, Marty and Jeff moved to Alaska together to try living in the wilderness. As soon as the producers of the show Mountain Men learned about the two men, they invited them to star in the series, which was an easy decision for Marty and Jeff. Marty's net worth today is estimated at over $250,000. Since its premiere, the producers of the show have found many other people who are trying to live in the wilderness and have invited many of them to appear in Mountain Men. We're going to mention a couple more people who have made the show even more interesting to watch. Rich Lewis, whom we have mentioned earlier, is today surviving in Ruby Valley, Nevada, by hunting mountain lions with his hounds. His wife Diane is mostly focused on working around the house, but is also a skilled hunter herself. The two appeared in only the 6th season, refusing to be featured in the following season for unknown reasons. Charlie Tucker is a fur trapper who's today living in Great North Woods, New England, and can mostly be seen together with another fur trapper, Jim Dumond. Kyle Bell lives in New Mexico's Cimarron Valley and is an avid hunter and outfitter. He travels across more than 45,000 acres in search of animals to hunt. Kyle has a 10-year-old son, Ben. Jake Hirak is a mountain lion hunter who's today living in Tobacco Root Mountains, Montana. Game hunters and cattle ranchers, the Urin brothers, Kid and Harry, live in Sawtooth Wilderness, Idaho. Josh Kirk is a game hunter and ranch manager who's living with his wife Bonnie and daughter Eden in Wind River Range, Wyoming. There's not a single reality show out there that is 100% real, and Mountain Men is no exception. While some people have claimed that it's entirely fake, most of the show is actually real and is closer than any other series in depicting how people survive in the wilderness. There have occasionally been times in the show when the producers would exaggerate certain events to add a bit of drama to it and to make it all seem a bit more dangerous. It's been pointed out that it would be boring to watch the same people do the same things every day without taking any risks and having no excitement. Tom Oar has even admitted to having watched TV with his wife, even though they shouldn't have had electricity in their cabin, at least not from the grid. But then their ingenuity apparently knows no bounds. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.